Good day, my name is Amar Horcha and welcome to another episode of AmarEd. In this episode we'll be learning how to sketch within SolidWorks. When you open up SolidWorks you'll see this dialog box which asks you if you want to design a 3D part or a combination of 3D parts, which is known as an assembly drawing, or if you want to do a 2D drawing, which is a 2D representation of an assembly drawing or a part drawing. So if you do not see this dialog box, don't worry, just click on File in the top left hand corner and then click on New and you'll see the dialog box. Let's start simple for now. We'll start simple with just a part. Click on Part and then click on OK. The next thing we'll see is the SolidWorks 3D Design Manager. One thing to take note of is the huge window on the right hand side. This is where we will see our object, our sketch, and on the left hand side we have our feature tree, which is probably the most important thing when it comes to designing within SolidWorks. This contains all your features such as sketches, extrudes, revolves and stuff like that. So on the top left hand corner, click on Sketch, open up the Sketch tab, and this contains all our sketch tools. So before we get started, we have to decide which plane we want to begin drawing on. There's 3 different planes within SolidWorks. There's the front plane, top plane and right plane, and there's also the origin point, which is the center point. We'll start simple. We'll start with the top plane just to make things simple. So left click on top plane and then click on normal to. That will give us a normal view of the top plane. And then click on top plane again and then click on sketch. So that allows us to begin sketching on the top plane. On the top right hand corner you see a little arrow and you'll see a little cross. This shows that you're in the sketch drawing. If you want to save your sketch, you just click on the little arrow symbol. If you want to discard your sketch, you just press the cross. So we'll get started with the center circle tool. So there's the center circle tool, there's a line tool, and there's the center rectangle tool. These 3 tools are the most used tools that I use. There's also a whole bunch of other tools at our disposal, but we'll just stick with the 3 most used ones for my use case. So we'll start off with the center circle. So you basically just decide, you click on the center circle tool and then you decide where you want the center point to be. So we will decide to make it the origin point, just to make things simple, and then you drag out and you choose how big you want your radius to be. This doesn't have to be specific because you can go ahead and use the smart dimensioning tool, which will basically fix a dimension for the circle. So we'll just specify roughly, let's say roughly radius of 50 millimeters, and then once we're done with that circle we'll click on the smart dimension tool in the top left hand corner, or we can simply hold right click and drag the mouse upwards and that does effectively the same thing. So click on the circumference of the circle so that we can dimension it, drag the dimension upwards or wherever you'd like to put the dimensioning, and then specify your diameter. So our diameter will be 100 millimeters, so just type 100 and then hit enter, and then we've specified our diameter as 100 millimeters. So next we'll use the center rectangle. Click on the center point as the origin again, just to make things simple. We'll make this a square instead of a rectangle, so let's specify somewhere around there, and then hold right click, drag up to get the smart dimensioning again, choose our height. We want our height to be, let's say 250, and then we want our width to be 250 as well. So yeah, we've drawn a circle and a square. So it's relatively simple to sketch within SolidWorks when you understand how to sketch. When it comes to 3D, making this sketch 3D, we basically go into the feature section and we can choose to extrude, revolve, we can even cut, we can sweep, we can do stuff like that. We'll go through all these 3D functions in future lessons. We'll just stick with sketch for today. So once we're done with that, let's go ahead and use the line tool just so we can see how the line tool works. Basically you specify your first point and then you can specify any other point on the plane. Let's go ahead and draw a triangle. Let's draw it. 1 second, let me just hit escape. Let's start from the midpoint so we can make the triangle equal. So we're making an equilateral triangle of length 500 millimeters. So make that roughly 250. Go ahead, press L. I like pressing L. You can either press L to get the line function, line tool, or you can hold right click and drag across to the left, or you can click on the top left here. But I prefer to hit L on my keyboard because it's easy to remember. So drag that out to the right. As you can see, the line snaps to 90-degree angles. So it's 180 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees again, 0 degrees. So you can choose where you want it to snap to for 90-degree angles, or you can put a line wherever you want and then specify the angle. So let's go ahead and snap it to 250. Done. Okay, now that we're done with the first side, which is of 500 millimeters in length, we'll specify this is 250 and this is 250. Enter. So there's other ways to do this. You could have drawn the line as 500 millimeters and then specified the midpoint on the line and the midpoint on the square and said that they coincide, but it's just more simpler to do it the way I'm doing it right now. So we'll just snap the starting point of the line at that edge, that corner, and then you could draw an arc as well. So basically how the arcs work is you click on the point, then you drag back to the point and go again, and you get an arc. But we just want to do a line, so we'll just click on the point and drag up. So we want this triangle to be 500. Oops, sorry, excuse me. We want the other side to be 500 as well, and we want the top of the triangle to be in line with the center of the circle and the square. So let's try and see if we can do that. Our square's too big. That's fine. I'll show you how to readjust the size of the square, seeing as we can't. Yep, if we go 500, it's going to hit our square. So basically, to readjust the square, you just get this is why smart dimensioning is very, very important. You just get the smart dimensioning tool again, you just click on the dimension you want to change, and you just change it. So let's try this as 200, and then let's try this as 200 as well. Okay, our lines at the bottom for the triangle should remain it should remain in the same location because we've started at the midpoint of this line. So if we redimension this line, the relationship is still relevant for the starting point of these lines. So let's go ahead and try again. Press L on your keyboard, click on the endpoint of that line. Okay, now we've got no problem doing that. Okay, that's so basically the dotted line there, I'll just quickly show you. So basically when you see the dotted line going through the sensor, that means that the point of the on top of the triangle, or the end of your line, is basically in line with the center of the circle, or where the dotted line starts. So let's make that in line with the center circle. We'll go about 500 there, remembering we could always redimension, and we'll put that on the end of that line. Now we get the smart dimensioning tool out again. Just be very careful when you dimension angling lines, because you can do the height, you can do the length, or you could do the actual length of the hypotenuse. So let's drag that out. I want to make this 500, and we also want to make this 500 as well. 1 second. Yep. 500. Enter. And now to make sure our center point is in line with the top of the triangle, we'll just draw a line, and this will just give us a rough estimate. Yep, 90 degrees, so that means our point is directly above our center point, which is nice. So yeah, that's our sketch. Now to rotate the sketch, you just hold your middle mouse scroll wheel and you can rotate the sketch, and then to go back to the normal 2, you just click on the top plane again and normal 2, and you have the same view again. So to save the sketch, you just click on the little top right hand corner where it has the little arrow that saves the sketch. Now the sketch is saved. Now you can go ahead and do 3D operations such as extrude, revolve, and such. We'll do the 3D operations in future videos. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. And before you go, don't forget to hit Control S and save. We'll just save this as part, or we can save it as a sketch. Oh, actually, we'll just save it as part 1 or you could put sketch 1 on our desktop, saves it as a part in SolidWorks, and click save. That's it, you're good to go. Thank you very much for watching this informative lesson. I hope you've learned something new and exciting. In future lessons we will discuss 3D operations. I hope you stay tuned for that. Thank you very much and have a lovely day. Bye.